You know, there's a quiet kind of pain that creeps in as we grow older. Not loud, not urgent, just there. In your knees when you rise from a chair. In your hands when you open a jar. Or that stiff ache in your back every single morning. As if your body is whispering, "I'm not what I used to be." I've seen it for decades in the eyes of my patients, and I felt it myself. Hello, my name is Dr. Thomas Whitaker. I spent more than 40 years as a physician specializing in geriatric medicine. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Getting older doesn't mean giving up. In fact, it means we must become wiser about how we care for ourselves, more patient, more attentive, more gentle. You see, when we talk about joint pain, most people assume it's just a part of aging. "Oh well, I'm just getting old," they say. But let me tell you something that may surprise you. Joint pain is common, but it is not inevitable. It's not some unchangeable curse. And what's more, you don't always need pills to feel better. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Because there are natural, time-tested remedies that truly work, and you probably already have some of them in your kitchen or garden. No side effects. No fancy prescriptions. Just simple tools to help your body move and feel the way it was meant to. We'll go over 5 remedies I've recommended to my patients and even used myself. They're practical, they're gentle, and they work. But more than that, we'll talk about what joint pain really is, what's happening inside your body, and how small daily changes can protect your joints for years to come. You see, aging isn't the end of anything. In fact, it's an invitation to slow down and listen to your body, to nourish it, to move it, to treat it like the home it is. So if you're watching this today with sore knees, stiff fingers, or a tight lower back, take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're just being reminded. It's time to care for yourself. Let's begin. Part 2. Understanding joint pain and 5 natural remedies that work. Talk honestly. Joint pain is more than just a nuisance. It can steal your mornings, make you dread simple tasks, and even rob you of sleep. But what exactly causes it? As we age, the cartilage that cushions our joints begins to wear down. Think of it like the padding on a worn-out chair. Over time, it thins, exposing the hard surfaces beneath. Without that cushion, bones begin to rub against each other, triggering pain, swelling, and stiffness. This condition is called osteoarthritis, and it's one of the most common complaints I've seen in patients over 60. Now here's the good news. Your body may be aging, yes, but it's also still alive, still capable of healing and strengthening when given the right tools. And today, I want to give you 5 of those tools, natural remedies backed by both science and my decades of experience. 1. Warm compresses and Epsom salt soaks. Let's start with the simplest, heat. A warm compress, applied to aching joints, helps increase blood flow, reduce stiffness, and ease discomfort. Now add a little magic. Epsom salt. This salt is rich in magnesium, a mineral your body needs to regulate inflammation. When you soak in a warm Epsom salt bath, even just your feet or hands, it can ease tightness and improve joint function. Pain is your body's way of asking for attention, not punishment. Warmth is one of the kindest responses you can give it. 2. Gentle movement, especially water exercises. You might think movement makes joint pain worse, but the right movement actually makes it better. When we sit too long or avoid motion, our joints become stiffer and weaker. But when we move gently and consistently, we actually lubricate our joints, like oiling a rusty hinge. The best form of movement? Water-based exercise, swimming, water aerobics, or simply walking in shallow water takes pressure off the joints while building strength. It's especially helpful for the knees, hips, and lower back. Remember, motion is lotion. 3. Anti-inflammatory foods. Here's where the kitchen becomes your pharmacy. Joint pain often comes from inflammation, and some foods actually feed that fire. Think sugar, processed meat, fried food, while others cool it down. So what should you eat? Fatty fish like salmon or sardines, rich in omega-3 turmeric, nature's anti-inflammatory. Spiced ginger soothes not only the stomach, but your joints. Leafy greens, packed with antioxidants. Berries, yes, berries. They're deep. Color means deep healing power. Try making a morning smoothie with turmeric, ginger, berries, and a little flaxseed. It's simple, tasty, and powerful. 4. Massage with essential oils. Touch is healing, especially when combined with the right oils. I often recommend massage using peppermint or eucalyptus oil, diluted in a gentle carrier oil. These essential oils help reduce swelling and create a cooling effect on sore joints. Even self-massage works. Gently rub your knees, hands, or shoulders each evening before bed. You'll sleep better and your joints will thank you in the morning. Growing older means treating yourself with the tenderness you once reserved for others. 5. Mind-body techniques. Breathing, meditation, and laughter. Now this might surprise you. Your thoughts can affect your joints. Pain isn't just physical, it's emotional. Anxiety, loneliness, and stress can amplify your pain response. That's why I often recommend simple daily breathing exercises and guided meditations to reduce tension. Even better, laughter. Yes, good old-fashioned laughter releases endorphins, your body's natural painkillers. Call a friend, watch a comedy, share a silly story from your youth. It might not cure arthritis, but it just might ease the burden of carrying it. Emotional lines to keep in mind. Aging isn't something happening to you, it's something happening with you. The body whispers before it screams. Listen early. If you treat your joints like your closest friends, gently and often, they'll stick with you longer than you think. You are still worthy of comfort, ease, and movement. Never settle for anything less. Part 3. A true story that will stay with you. Let me tell you about Marion. She's 72. Lives alone in a quiet suburb just outside of Manchester. Widowed for over a decade. 2 grown children, both living in different cities. She's the kind of woman who always had a garden full of flowers, a cat named Benny, and a smile for the mailman. But one winter, everything changed. Marion began waking up with stiff knees and aching fingers. At first, she brushed it off. Just age, she thought. But then it got worse. The stairs became a mountain. Opening jars became impossible. Even pulling the kettle off the stove felt like a task too great. Her doctor prescribed medication, but it left her dizzy and drowsy. She felt more like a patient than a person. That's when Marion decided, enough. She called her local senior wellness group and joined a water exercise class at the community pool. Twice a week, she slipped into that warm water and let it hold her weight. At first, just gentle walking, then stretches, then tiny kicks. And she laughed. She hadn't laughed like that in years. She also changed her morning routine. Gone with a toast and jam. In came a berry smoothie with turmeric, ginger, and a dash of honey. She started soaking her hands in warm Epsom salt water while listening to her favorite radio show. And once a week, her neighbor's daughter, an aromatherapy student, would stop by and rub peppermint oil into Marion's stiff hands. No miracle happened overnight. But something better happened. Day by day, Marion began to feel like herself again. Her hands still ached, but they worked. Her knees still creaked, but they carried her. And most importantly, she was no longer afraid of her own body. One morning, she walked to her garden with a cup of tea and noticed something blooming. Not just in the soil, but in her spirit. She was aging, yes, but she was also alive. Marion didn't need a miracle cure. She just needed to remember that healing can be gentle, and that every day offers a chance to begin again. So here we are. We've walked through the facts. We've explored the natural remedies. We've shared a real story of hope. But now, I want to speak to you not as a doctor, not even as an expert, but simply as someone who's walked beside thousands of people just like you. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your stiff knees. You are not your aching back. You are a whole person. A living story. A soul that still matters. And yes, growing older brings its own share of challenges. But let me be absolutely clear. It is never too late to take your life into your own hands. Maybe you're thinking, Dr. Whitaker, I've tried everything. Or I'm too old for this now. But I'll tell you something I've learned from a lifetime of listening. Your body may slow down, but your willpower doesn't have to. Every day you choose to move gently. Every time you warm a compress instead of reaching for pain pills. Every time you laugh instead of holding tension in your shoulders. You're telling your body, I'm still here. I still care. I still believe in healing. That matters. That changes things out overnight. But in small ways that build, day after day, like the steady growth of a tree. Not fast, but strong. Rooted. So if you've been living with joint pain and wondering if anything can help, the answer is yes. And more than that, you can help yourself. You always could. Start small. Try one of the remedies we talked about today. Maybe just the warm soak, or the turmeric in your tea, or that little walk around the garden. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. And please, don't do it alone. If you've found something that works for you, share it in the comments below. If you're still struggling, tell us, because someone out there might have the encouragement you need. We're in this together. If you see yourself in this video, tell us your story. We want to hear it. If you're going through a tough time right now, say something. You're not alone. Aging is not a disease. Pain is not your identity. You are a person of value. And you still deserve a life of movement, meaning, and joy. So let's keep walking forward, one small step, one kind choice at a time. Take care of yourself. You're worth it.